When you are done with Nigerians, when you are done with Mozambicans and Zimbabweans and Zambians, you are going to go for Shangans from Guyana. I have to stop you now before you come to me.
Well, Julius Malema, the EFF leader, is preaching about African unity and the making of Africa borderless, for Africa to move across Africa with no hindrances. We find that the common black South African is preaching for foreigners to leave their country. They are more focused on South African first and South African autonomy, where they feel that the rest of Africa is coming to invade their country, take away their jobs, and also break their laws. They have targeted all Africans, including a Ghanaian man, considering Ghana is forefront on Pan-Africanism.
We are fixing this continent. This thing of you guys moving from one country to the other, it's no longer working. We don't want this as African people anymore. We are tired of seeing African migrants moving all over the world, refusing to fix your own countries. Now we're making it very clear to you guys, Utitina, we don't want you here. We want you to fix your countries. Now you came here with a traveling document. You came with a passport. You know that you are a visitor, but now you decided to come and integrate in our communities. You know very well that what you have done is wrong.
How many children do you have here?
We can come to Ghana and do what you're doing.
AP passport.
Eh? Now you are carrying a bucket. It's 11 a.m. You were supposed to be fighting the government of Ghana there to ensure that they are getting things right.
No, there's no fight in Ghana. You must fight what they did.
South African thing of xenophobia usually happens once in a year. It seems there is someone who incites them to attack other people. And this act of going around the country or the streets and stopping foreigners to ask for document is not the role of common citizens. It's the role of the migration department, the role of the police. Really, you wonder, is South Africa a country that is governed by laws, or is a lawless land where citizens can walk around and harass foreigners? Some people argue that the black South African always target the wrong person, considering that their claim of foreigners taking away their jobs, their claim of the economy being exploited by foreigners, even their sleep being stolen by foreigners.
Just look at this thing, my bro. These are foreigners. The foreigners are in their houses, they're sleeping nicely, and we of South Africa, we are out here in this cold, catching cold, and these foreigners, they don't have papers, and just look at they're all sleeping nicely in the houses. They're sleeping really nice in the house. We are here outside. They must go back to their country. They can't come here to take our sleep from us.
It's an expression of what Frantz Fanon called in his book The Wretch of the Earth, and another book, Black Mask, White Mask, the inferiority complex of the colonized, and also what they call the white gaze. They see the world in the eyes of the colonizers. They do not see Africa as a solution to their problem. They know their main problem is colonization by the Dutch and the British, who took away 80% of their land. And instead of dealing with the colonizers who still hold their land, they now target the poor Africans who are hawking in the streets of Durban and Johannesburg, and also in places like Mpumalanga and the ghettos. Well, and these are soft targets. These are people who are in the margins of marginality, and they can easily be targeted by anyone poor South African venting their anger on the poor South Africa. They will not go to the main cause of their problem, the rich guys, the Oppenheimers, the Guptas. They will not go to the Stellenbosch Mafia and attack those. They will rather deal with the poor Africans on the margins of society. And then they force them to leave the country, and in the hope of that the government will hear their plight and respond appropriately. Well, we have had issues of farmers being attacked in their farms, and This has even been heard, this cry of farmers have even been heard by Donald Trump himself, and he's even claiming that, oh, there's a white genocide against South African white farmers.
In South Africa, there's a very horrible thing going on in South Africa. It's a genocide. It's a horrible thing. And we made it possible for these people to come into our country. They kill people if they're white, if you're a white person. And I'll tell you what, I did great with the black vote, the African American vote, and they understand this better than anybody. South Africa, they kill white farmers. And we said, you come into our country and we let you come in. You get a green card and you get a passport. You can stay in our country.
Black man in South Africa now becomes targeted by other African countries. He's seen as a person who is thankless, considering that South Africa got its independence in 1994, which was quite late for an African. And you find that the colonization of South Africa really affected the black man to the point that the inferiority complex was so much they could not be able to free themselves quite early from colonization like the rest of Africa. And so it was a concerted effort by most African countries, including Ghana, including Tanzania, to rescue them from colonization. And then the same South Africa now coming back, blaming the same Africans who saved them from the yoke of apartheid and colonization. Well, it clearly shows that the freedom that we expected in South Africa has not yet come. And you also find they are so inferior, they think that the rest of Africa is so poor that South Africans are rich, and if they open their borders, Africans will flood into their countries. They need to travel across Africa and realize that we have Africans living in all parts of Africa. In East Africa, a country like Kenya hosts so many foreigners from Somalia, from Ethiopia, from Burundi, Rwanda, Congo, and we do not hear, even Nigerians are now coming to Kenya because of the fast internet and 24 hours of electricity, and maybe even to learn English. Now, we find that no one harasses these people. They stay peacefully with us. We know our economy is strained, but we do not vent against foreigners. We go for the government. If we feel that foreigners are breaking the law, that is the role of the police to deal with them and expel them or deport them into their home countries. It is not the role of the street walking around, threatening people with machetes and beating up people on the street. It's kind of barbaric and shows that a country like South Africa, which prides itself as a first world in Africa, is as barbaric as any third world ghetto you might find in the world. Well, South Africa must get its act together, deal with their economic pressure, and also the black South Africans should learn to work and earn their income instead of blaming the rest of African immigrants for their problems. For now, we feel South African, especially black South African, are big let down to the rest of Africa, and they need to be banished. That is all. Kindly like and subscribe this channel.